Welcome back to our channel with yet another interesting video. This time we are going to discuss about G protein. Why we need to study this G protein? Because the most numerous class of receptor are the G protein coupled receptor, which we call the GPCR. In human, GPCR are used to detect and respond to many different types of signal, including neurotransmitter, hormone involved in glycogen and fat metabolism, and even photons of light. So, our sense of light, smell, and taste depend upon them. There are more than 800 GPCR in human, and in mice there are about 1000 concerned with sense of smell alone. Same signal molecule can activate many different GPCR family members like acetylcholine, serotonin, expressed in different cell type and elicit different response. But why it is named G protein? This G stands for guanine nucleotide binding protein. Now, what is the basic structure of G protein? All G protein coupled receptors have the same orientation in the membrane and contain 7 transmembrane alpha helical region H1 to H7, 4 extracellular segment E1 to E4. E1 stands for extracellular segment and 4 cytosolic segment C1 to C4. C stands for cytosolic. And N terminus is on the exoplasmic phase and C terminus is on the cytosolic phase of the plasma membrane. The carboxyl terminal segments C4, C3 loop, and in some receptors C2 are involved in interaction with coupled trimeric G protein. Why it is called trimeric G protein? We will discuss about this later in our slide. Now, different G protein are activated by different GPCR and in turn regulate different effector protein. All effector protein in GPCR pathway are either membrane bound ion channel or membrane bound enzyme that can catalyze formation of second messenger. There are the main 4 types of GPCR. First one is GS, that is stimulatory G protein that increases cyclic AMP. Their receptors are beta adrenergic receptor, glucagon, histamine, etc. GI, that stands for inhibitory G protein that decreases cyclic AMP and it binds to alpha 2 adrenergic receptor serotonin. GQ, that increases second messenger like IP3 DAG, and GT, that increases cyclic GMP phosphodiesterase that actually cleave cyclic GMP. So it causes decrease of cyclic GMP. Rhodopsin and coloropsin in retinal, rod and cone cell are receptor of this GT. Now, come to the point, the trimeric G protein. Trimeric G protein contains 3 subunits: alpha, beta and gamma. G alpha and G gamma subunit are linked to the membrane by covalently attached lipid. The beta gamma subunit are always bound together and referred to as G beta gamma subunit. Alpha subunit contain GTPase domain, which contain 2 major subdomain. One is RAS domain that provide one phase of the nucleotide binding pocket, and another one is alpha helical domain or AH domain, which clamps the nucleotide in place. Now we will see how G protein becomes activated. In resting state, here we can see that when no ligand is bound to receptor, the G-alpha subunit has a bound GDP. Here we can see that, and complex with G beta gamma. Binding of ligand to GPCR like epinephrine, changing the conformation of its cytosolic facing loop and enable the receptor to bind with G-alpha subunit. Now, AH domain of G-alpha subunit moves outward to open the nucleotide binding site and promote the dissociation of GDP. GTP binding then promote the closure of nucleotide binding site. Here this is the closure of AH domain that leads to dissociation of alpha subunit from beta gamma subunit. Okay, G-alpha subunit is a GTPase switch protein that alternate between an active on conformation state which bound to GTP and inactive or off conformation state when it's bound to GDP. Okay, here we can see that alpha subunit of G protein dissociated and it attached to their effector protein, that is adenyl cyclase, which actually convert ATP to cyclic AMP. Now, the binding of an extracellular signal molecule to GPCR activate adenyl cyclase via GS. The GS stand for stimulatory G protein and thereby increasing cyclic AMP concentration in the cytosol. Now, we have to know how a rise in intracellular cyclic AMP concentration can alter gene transcription. Cyclic AMP bind to protein kinase A. This protein kinase A have two subunits. One is regulatory and another one is catalytic subunit. This is the regulatory subunit and this one is catalytic subunit. Okay, cyclic AMP bind to regulatory subunit of protein kinase A tetramer that induces a conformational changes causing this subunit to dissociate it from catalytic subunit of protein kinase A, thereby activating the kinase activity of catalytic subunit. The release of catalytic subunit require more than 2 cyclic AMP to regulatory subunit. Now, this catalytic subunit of protein kinase A come to nucleus through nuclear pore. Then it phosphorylate transcription regulatory protein CREB that is inactive. With the help of protein kinase A, it become activated. Then it recruit co-activator, that is CREB binding protein CBP. It then stimulate gene transcription. Okay, this is the signaling through GPCR. Now, some bacterial toxin contain a subunit that penetrate the plasma membrane of target mammalian cell, and in the cytosol catalyzes chemical modification on G-alpha protein that prevent hydrolysis of bound GTP to GDP. So there are various diseases that are related to G protein. For example, toxin produced by Bacterium Vibrio cholera, which causes cholera, that modify G-alpha S. Alpha S means stimulatory G protein in the intestinal epithelial cell. As a result, G-alpha S remain in the active state. So, continuously activate it adenyl cyclase in the absence of hormonal stimulation, resulting excessive rise in intercellular cyclic AMP concentration that actually leads to loss of electrolyte and water into the intestinal lumen and producing watery diarrhea. Another thing is the toxin produced by Bordetella pertussis, a bacterium that commonly infects our respiratory tract and causes whooping cough, that catalyzes a modification of G-alpha I, that is inhibitory G protein that prevent release of bound GDP. Now, G-alpha I is locked in inactive state, so reducing inhibition of adenyl cyclase that causes increase in cyclic AMP concentration in epithelial cell of airway that promote loss of fluid, electrolyte and mucus secretion. So, thank you guys. If you have any doubt regarding this video, feel free to ask. And if you guys like this video, don't forget to hit the like button and to subscribe and share with your friends. Thank you.